Welcome to US Briefing. Europe retains Solheim Cup after final day drama against the USA. The Independent. Europe has retained the Solheim Cup after a thrilling 14-14 draw with the United States, the first tie in the biennial contest's history. Trailing 4-0 after the opening foursomes, Europe rallied at Finca Courtesan to ensure they kept the trophy. Spanish golfer Carlota Ciganda played a starring role, winning all 4 of her matches. Ciganda hit a stunning approach on the 16th to set up a winning birdie, and repeated the feat on the 17th to ensure Europe would at least retain the trophy. Q&A, Jane Crosbie saw it all, and she wrote it down. John Crosbie's widow publishes memoir. CBC. Jane Crosbie, the wife of former Canadian politician John Crosbie, has released her early diaries in a new memoir titled The Horse Doctor's Daughter. The memoir consists of diary entries from 1966 to the 1980s, providing an intimate look into the life of the Crosbie family during John's political career. The diary entries cover a range of topics, from mundane daily activities to more significant events. Jane Crosbie's memoir offers a candid perspective on her marriage to John Crosbie, describing their ups and downs and the challenges of being a political spouse. The memoir also includes encounters with notable figures such as Richard Nixon and Jeff Sterling. Overall, the memoir provides a unique insight into the personal life of a prominent Canadian politician and the role of his wife in supporting him throughout his career. America's mini economic miracle may be fleeting. Financial Times. The U.S. economy has experienced unexpected growth, with estimates suggesting a rate of 3% or more this quarter. Economists had predicted a recession but have been proven wrong due to factors such as government spending, strong consumer confidence, and the impact of AI and low oil prices. American consumers have reduced their debt burden and have been able to make use of stimulus cash and savings accumulated during lockdown. However, there are concerns that once these temporary boosts wear off, the U.S. economy could face challenges. Canadian auto workers ratify deal between Ford, Unifor. CBC. Canadian auto workers represented by the Unifor Union have voted to accept a new 3-year contract with automaker Ford. The deal includes wage increases, signing bonuses, and the reactivation of a cost-of-living allowance. The contract also includes a pay increase for senior employees of between 19% and 25% over the life of the contract. The agreement also secures expansion and upgrades at Ford's engine plant in Windsor and the transformation of its Oakville operation into an electric vehicle assembly plant. Call of the Wild: How a 4-Day Work Week Has Changed My Life. The Sydney Morning Herald. The author of this article discusses their personal experience of working a 4-day week and the positive impact it had on their life. They also mention that organizations around the world are experimenting with 4-day working week models, with positive results such as increased productivity and worker satisfaction. The author argues that humans should work less in order to prioritize their well-being and happiness, rather than constantly pursuing more money and material possessions. They suggest that the 4-day working week could become a reality as people realize the negative effects of overwork. Trump praises Rishi Sunak for climate U-turn as PM's popularity drops. The Independent. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has praised British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak for rolling back net zero targets. Trump, a climate denier, commended Sunak on social media platform Truth Social, stating that Sunak was smart for not bankrupting the nation for the sake of fake climate alarmists. Sunak's decision to delay the ban on gas and diesel cars until 2035 and reject environmental proposals has been met with criticism from climate activists and within his own Conservative Party. Trump suggested that the U.S. should follow suit and reverse its climate goals, claiming they are too expensive and not a priority. Desperate opera singer puts public toilets on the New York map. Telegraph. An opera singer in New York City has created a detailed map of public toilets across the 5 boroughs to help residents and visitors find facilities. Teddy Siegel began mapping the toilets after a desperate search for a restroom in Times Square led her to spend $3 in a McDonald's. The map, which is crowdsourced and can be edited in real time, now features almost 1,800 toilets. Siegel has amassed 370,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram and rates the facilities in her videos. The map is reportedly the most shared and most used on Google Maps globally. Louisiana man who fled attempted murder trial captured after 32 years on the run. Associated Press. Greg Lawson, a Louisiana man who fled his 1991 trial for attempted murder, has been arrested in Mexico more than 3 decades later. Lawson was accused of shooting a man in Bienville Parish in 1991 and disappeared just before the jury was due to return a guilty verdict. He was found hiding in Mexico and was brought back to the U.S. on Thursday. The FBI posted a video on social media showing Lawson being escorted by authorities at an airport. Usher to headline 2024 Super Bowl halftime show. Wall Street Journal. Usher has been announced as the headliner for the halftime show at Super Bowl 58, which will take place on February 11, 2024, in Las Vegas. The singer, who has won 8 Grammy Awards, stated that he is excited to bring a show unlike anything he has done before. Apple Music became the sponsor for the halftime show in 2022, replacing PepsiCo. Usher joins a long list of iconic performers who have headlined previous Super Bowl halftime shows, including Prince, Beyoncé, Bruce Springsteen, Lady Gaga, and Rihanna. The announcement of Usher's selection was made in a light-hearted Instagram video featuring Kim Kardashian. Europe retains Solheim Cup after stunning comeback against USA. CNN. Team Europe and Team USA tied 14-14 in the Solheim Cup, marking the first-ever tie in the history of the biennial event. Team Europe needed 14 points to retain the cup and reached that threshold when Carlotta Ciganda defeated Nelly Korda in the penultimate singles match. However, Lexi Thompson's win over Emily Peterson in the closing matchup denied Team Europe an outright victory. European captain Suzanne Pettersson praised her team for their performance and said there is no giving up. The 2024 Solheim Cup will be held at Robert Trent Golf Club in Virginia. Man sentenced to life again in 2011 slaying of aspiring rapper in New Jersey. Associated Press. Randy Manning has been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of aspiring rapper Rian Stout in New Jersey in 2011. Manning was convicted of murder, arson, desecration of human remains, and weapons offenses. Prosecutors said Manning killed Stout in a vacant house and then set his body on fire. Manning was originally convicted and sentenced to life in 2014, but the conviction was overturned in 2020 due to a violation of his privacy rights. Manning's defense attorney argued for a sentence of only 30 years, claiming that Manning maintains his innocence but is remorseful for what happened. 1 year later, Italy's Meloni moves towards the middle. Deutsche Welle. Giorgia Meloni, Italy's first female prime minister, has increasingly adopted a moderate stance since taking office a year ago. Meloni, who leads the Brothers of Italy party, is part of a coalition government made up of 3 right-wing parties. Although she has not shied away from embracing conservative family values at home, she has toned down her rhetoric on the European stage and sought allies among EU leaders. Italy has been a major beneficiary of the EU's Coronavirus Recovery Fund. Meloni also appears to be developing a relationship with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Meloni has also sought to focus on North Africa as a means of reducing migration to Italy. She has called for a naval blockade of North African coasts, although this has not found support from von der Leyen. Despite criticism from some quarters, Meloni's approval ratings remain high in Italy. Rubble from 81 million kilometers away, capsule carrying asteroid secrets lands on Earth. The Sydney Morning Herald. NASA's OSIRIS-RX spacecraft, which has been on a 7-year mission to collect samples from the asteroid Bennu, has successfully returned to Earth. The sample capsule parachuted into the Utah desert on October 24, carrying at least a cup of rubble from the carbon-rich asteroid. The samples, which are the largest ever collected from beyond the Moon, will help scientists gain a better understanding of how Earth and life formed. NASA plans to open the container in the next few days to determine the precise amount of material collected. Chinese lab suspected of leaking COVID stripped of U.S. funding for breaking virus guidelines. Telegraph. The Wuhan Institute of Virology, WIV, in China has been stripped of U.S. government funding for 10 years after conducting dangerous experiments that increased the potency of coronaviruses before the COVID-19 pandemic, according to documents from the U.S. Department of Human Health and Services. The experiments, which occurred between 2018 and 2019, involved inserting new spike proteins into 4 bat coronaviruses, resulting in one virus that killed 75% of infected humanized mice within 2 weeks. The HHS said the experiments violated grant guidelines and potentially had health consequences and repercussions. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.